What's up guys, welcome to another beat making episode. It's your boy Sdmusic. In today's tutorial we're going to be making a new school Afrobeat type of instrumental in FL Studio. The link to download the beat is going to be at the description below. The first pattern that we have, which is the kick sequence. On pattern 2 we have the melody of the beats. That was played using Organ VST. It's a stock plugin in FL Studio in case if you need to use it. On pattern 3 we have the percussion. On pattern 4 we have the hi-hat roll. That's great. Also take note that I've also sent all the instruments to the mixer track, added a little bit of EQ to some of them that needs it, and reverb to the instruments as well. On pattern 5 we have the pad instruments played using morphine. On pattern 6 we have the lead instruments played also using morphine. Okay, on pattern 7 we have the arpeggio instruments played using Toxic Biohazard. On pattern 8 we have the 808 instruments. I think this is a variation of the 808 instruments, of which I'm not very sure if it's in the playlist, because everything in the playlist have been properly named and sorted out, so I don't think that was used in the beats. So whichever the case, I'm gonna delete it. Hopefully I'm not creating any harm. Boom, boom. Let's look at it. All right, I don't think it affects it. I don't think that should be in there. Cool. On the next pattern, which is pattern 8, we have the 808 instruments. I mean, it's just weird. I just played some 808s during the transition and during the verse. On pattern 9 we have the Moog bass played using Sakura VST. I'm mixing 2 VST to play the Moog bass. I'm using one from Sakura, as you can see, bass Fender Peak FG. I used that to play the first part of the Moog bass, and I used Toxic Biohazard to play the other parts, which is DX, so just to give it a little bit of uniqueness. I mean, it's actually the same thing, but as you can see, the Sakura Moog bass has more grunchiness than the Toxic Biohazard bass. So in context, it makes it sound more great. On pattern 10, we have the snare. On 12, we have the shakers or shakeres. On pattern 13, pattern 13, we have the muted bass played using Nexus. "14" is the flute instruments. that was played, I think, during the chorus section of the beats. I played the flute instruments using morphine. I used morphine to play the flute instruments and also sent it to the mixer track 15. We have the conga instrument. As you can see, the delay is doing its job very well. That's good. Moving on to the next pattern, we have the clap sequence. And I've linked it to the mixer track 22 to effect it or to add some effects on it. So that's why we have this one here. Don't forget to turn on your slide or your groove button, or to increase or decrease it to give it the bounce or the groove, you know, that you think your track is needed, that you think your track needs. Also, last but not the least, we have this sample right here. It's a you know, it's just a sample. It's a piece of a chord that was played. So what I've done is to turn on the stretch, and you know, I use the time. When you turn on the stretch, you can use the time button or the time knob to adjust the BPM of your sample to rhyme with that of your beats. That's what I've done here. I turn on the stretch, set to the BPM to match my beats. Then I am playing the instrument, which is a sample, as a full instrument of its own. Here is how it sounds like on its own. I mean, that's just a preamble of it, but it makes the track come alive and gives it this retro feel, you know, retro feel. That's cool. Then the last but not the least, we have this drum roll set, which was played using FPC. Let's just take a preview on it. Yeah, as you can see, I just did a little bit of freestyle over the track and some editing on the FPC. Then I had that, you know, it makes the track to come alive during the rolling, the drops, the rising. You know, you need all these rows here, but you don't need to use all of them, depending on how you feel. You know, the day I made this beat, I was feeling more like kids and I was vibing, you know. I love it. So let's move on to the composition section, so I can show you how it all comes together. I don't think we're using any automation clips today, but we are using some samples to do the rising and the drops. This is just to add to the drum rolls. One of them is this Lex Luger riser. You can see I pitch it to the right to remove the highs, and we have this drum roll, snare roll, I mean.
Sdmusic. Sdmusic.
Then we have this drum roll that was played at one point in the beat, and also that's one of the drum rolls that we used on the beats. I think pretty much that's everything. Those are the samples that I'm using, aside the piano sample that I showed you earlier on. So let's see how it all comes together in the composition area. We're going to start composing the beats from this verse right here. I think verse 2 chorus to verse 3. Then we'll listen to some part of the verse 3 again before we round up for today. Let's go.
Sdmusic. Sdmusic.
Before we continue, let me mute the effects on the master track. On the master track, I think I'm using just Maximus. Let me mute that out so that we hear the raw sound.
Sdmusic. Sdmusic. Sdmusic.
Okay, let me turn on the effects on the master track now so that we can hear the difference in volume and in clarity.
Sdmusic.
All right, guys. I hope you're digging it. That's when we are doing it. That's when we are creating a new school Afrobeat type of instrumental in FL Studio. I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two today. The link to download the beats is going to be at the description below. Till I see you next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and peace.